Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we're focusing on all of the characters from Prodigal Son, including the ones you love, the ones you hate, and the ones you love to hate. We're going to be ranking them from some of our favorites to some of our least favorites and why. Let us know what you think or if you change anything. Before we get into the bulk of the video, subscribe to our channel and tap the notification bell to see future videos like this. Now let's get into it. Let's start off by taking a look at some of our favorite characters and why we love them. Be warned, the rest of this video may contain some spoilers from season 1 and 2 of the show. Click off now if you're not interested in getting them. Alright, now that you've been warned, let's start with our most favorite and work our way down. First up is the one and only Malcolm Bright. Malcolm is by far our favorite on the show, and we're sure he's yours too. Brought to you to the screen by the incredible actor Tom Payne, Malcolm is a troubled NYPD officer that had previously been laid off as an FBI profiler for some unlawful actions. Plagued by a disturbing childhood soaked in trauma, we can't help but feel bad for him and all that he's been through. We sympathize with his fear of ending up like his father and just want him to be happy. It's hard to watch him go through all the struggles he faced last season, and we hope season 2 brings a bit more happiness into his life. Not only is he the show's protagonist, but he's an incredibly complex yet interesting character. With the most screen time of all the characters, we definitely get to know Malcolm the best, so it's hard not to like him considering how much we know about him. Next up is Martin Whitley. I know, it's a bit unorthodox for one of our favorite characters to be a serial killer, but we can't help it. This one probably shouldn't be so high up on our favorites list, but we have a feeling that we're not alone in our love for the serial killer. Michael Sheen gives an addictive portrayal of the psychopathic Martin Whitley, and we can't decide whether we love to hate him or hate to love him. Of course, we resent his actions and what he's put poor Malcolm through. We just can't help but love when he's on screen. His character gives the show that perfect addition of humor, giving a comical element that stops it from being too dark and brooding. Now on to Detective Danny Powell. Danny is another favorite, and we're no exception to the club. Like Malcolm, Danny has a darker past that troubles her in everyday life. From her personal struggles, such as tackling a cocaine addiction, to becoming a valuable member of NYPD, Danny has gone through a ton of growth. Our hearts can't help but squeeze at the thought of her. As well as this, she's also become Malcolm's confidant in a way and is overall incredibly caring about everyone. We have a slight inkling that she's on the way to becoming more than just a confidant too. Hopefully the two of them can find happiness in each other that they've been unable to find elsewhere. These two really deserve a bit of good in their lives right about now. Next is Gil Arroyo. Gil is a saint if you think about it. Not only did he potentially save Malcolm and a ton of other people's lives by arresting Martin that day, but he also became a massive part of Malcolm's life as he grew up. After arresting his father, Gil became a father-like figure himself for Malcolm and was always there to guide him and mentor him when he needed it. He's constantly checking in on him and making sure he's okay throughout the show, and you can tell he really cares and worries about Malcolm. He's also a great character all around, endearing to everyone and an absolute rock in the NYPD. He is truly an epic source of stability in an otherwise massive chaos. Now Idrissa Tanika, the lovable medical examiner for the NYPD. How can you not love Idrissa? She's beyond adorable and absolutely hilarious with her feelings for Malcolm. While she's a bit socially awkward, this only makes her sweeter, and she's such a genuine and bubbly character, it's a crime not to like her. Her supporting character adds a nice touch of humor and a more lighthearted tone to an otherwise incredibly dark show. The only reason Idrissa isn't higher up on this list is because she's not as big of a character. Otherwise, her quirky self would be right at the top. Last of all is JT. JT Tarmel is a great character and deserves an honorable mention on this list. He's a bit brooding at times, but overall he cares about his team and he gets stuff done. Not to mention, he's incredibly honest and direct. There's no specific reason as to why he's at the bottom. He just doesn't stand out to us as much as some of the other characters do. That doesn't mean he's not a valuable asset to the show though. Now let's take a look at some of our most hated characters, starting with our most hated. Our least favorite is of course Nicholas Endicott. Endicott was introduced to us on Prodigal Son as merely a powerful and somewhat full of it businessman that had more money than he knew what to do with, but it slowly revealed that he was actually a lying, manipulative murderer and just as much of a monster as Martin. Overall, he's slimy, narcissistic, and way more trouble than he initially seemed. Endicott is definitely the least likable character on Prodigal Son simply because of how easily he got away with everything and how he continuously tried to pin the blame on others. He definitely deserved what happened to him, but he deserved it to happen a lot sooner. Next up is Ainsley Whitley, journalist and younger sister of Malcolm. While we have her to thank for the murder of Endicott, that doesn't guarantee Ainsley a spot on our love list. In fact, we don't like her at all. Ainsley is a complex character, and while she's a fantastic addition to the show, she's still not likable in our eyes. As the show began, she wasn't particularly an interesting character and seemed mind-numbingly normal and boring, if we're gonna be honest. As Prodigal Son progressed, she became a lot more complicated than that, which was one of her only redeeming qualities. One of the first things that puts us off with her was the immediate attempt to use her murderous father to excel her journalism career. Who does that? We know she was too young for it to have much of an impact on her at the time. Spoiler, or so we're led to believe, but it's still a pretty weird thing to do. She knows how traumatized Malcolm is from their father and his actions, and knows how desperately he struggles with the memories from their childhood. If she cares about him, why would she air out the details of it all for everyone to see and for him to relive? That's kind of what journalists do, but I mean, he's a brother. As the show progresses, it becomes pretty clear that Ainsley is less well-adjusted than we've been led to believe. We think it's pretty safe to say that Ainsley is the prodigal son that Martin is after, based on her actions following season 1's brutal finale. The only redeeming thing she really brings to the table is that she makes the show pretty interesting and gives us a few insane plot twists. Other than that, she gets a thumbs down from us. At least Martin was funny. Next up is Jessica Whitley, the former wife of the surgeon. We promise we're not purposely picking on women of the Whitley family. It's just coincidence. Jessica really manages to get under our skin. While definitely not the worst character on the show, Jessica is overbearing and smothers her children well into adulthood. She's far too dependent on her children, and while desperately trying to atone for Martin's crime and making sure their kids are okay, she doesn't actually offer them a ton of real help. In fact, it seems like she inconveniences them both more than anything. We will give her the benefit of the doubt as she's a pretty good mother generally. Being smothered might make you annoying, but it doesn't make you a bad mother. It just shows how much you care. But she loves her children more than anything and would definitely do anything for them. She also holds too much guilt and shame over herself in regards to what her children have been through. Because of that, we're putting her at the bottom of the list. She still deserves a spot though for, being annoying. Last up is Simon Hawksley. Hawksley is not a likable character as far as we're concerned, but he's not the worst, hence why he's at the bottom of the most hated list. The Interpol agent is confident to the point where he's just overly cocky. He's also known as the Mind Sleuth and has an autobiography titled just that. Anyone with a nickname like that, which let's be honest, he probably gave it to himself, deserves to be on a hate list somewhere. Here it is. Considered one of the greatest criminal profilers in the world, Huxley has been put on the case to find out who murdered Nicholas and the kid, which is not good news as far as the Whitleys are concerned. We really hope it doesn't end up getting out of hand where Malcolm has to permanently take the blame for it. We're sorry this hate list isn't any longer, but we have to admit we love almost all the main characters on this show. It was a lot harder than you might think. Give it a go yourself and post in the comments. See if you can change our minds on the list. Who knows, maybe you like those confident, cocky traits that Simon has. Who knows, maybe you like overbearing people to protect you like Jessica Whitley. Maybe you're all for sleazeballs with a lot of money like Nicholas. That's everything for us today. We'll see you soon for another video. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and turn notifications on so you don't miss out on anything. See you guys soon.